if anybody can take it the length of the track, this guy could do it.
Well, Piper has taken a win on the TNT National Circuit before. He's kind of at a handicap. If you notice the front engine is not functional. He's actually just making a 4-engine run. Now, he relies on the Aries engine for the horsepower, but that's not going to produce enough horsepower this evening in Louisville.
Mike Piper finally closes it off at 224.54. That means our pull-off is going to be between David Banner and Fred Freeman. That is going to be coming up next on Power Tracks, but right now it is time for our question of the week. And this week we are going to be talking about the tire treads on the modified tractors. And this question of the week about the Redman TNT All-American Pulling Series comes to us from Bill London of Waco, Texas. And Bill wants to know why the tire treads are so short on most of the pulling vehicles. He seems to think that a deeper tread would give you better traction. Well, Bill, pullers do tend to grind down the height off the cleats of the tire. A tall cleat would tend to dig too much into the track, throwing dirt behind the vehicle and in front of the sled. That, of course, would slow the pulling vehicle down. As we all know, the name of the game in pulling is momentum. Pullers can get the sled moving faster if the tires literally float across the surface. They need to get these tires spinning as much as possible for a full or a longer pull. And if you have a question of the week about the Redman TNT All-American Pulling Series, send it to us at TNT Motorsports, 5515 Poplar Park Boulevard, Louisville, Kentucky, 40228. If we use your question on a future broadcast, we'll send you free a TNT Motorsports hat. And then there were two. The sign says it all in Freedom Hall. We are ready for a pull-off. Two guys are there. They're both champions. Fred Freeman, mean mistreater, coming out first with Chevrolet power.
Keep an eye on the right hand, Richard. When he nails it, he's going to be coming after you. It's going to be an all Chevrolet final. Wadesville, Indiana native, went to the right, driven to the left. Wow. Leaning on equipment. Goes at 161.26. Can Banner beat it? That's the question.
He obviously is a fan there of Fred Freeman out of Wadesville, Indiana. A lot of Hoosiers cross the state line into Freedom Hall for this championship tractor pull each and every year. And now it's down to one. David Banner, a 16-time national champion, must go beyond that 161 mark set by Fred Freeman to get the win.
Banner calls on the Chevrolet horsepower. Let's see if it's going to be there. He's won everything there is to win except this event. And now he's won that. Richard, Banner will take the win in Louisville.
He sure has. 173 feet for the legendary David Banner. Comes all the way from LaFontaine, Indiana. Takes home the win. He is going to be proud to put that championship trophy on his mantle.
Every win is exciting. I'll tell you what, I've been coming here a long time to get this one, and, you know, I'm glad to beat them all. I'll tell you, I run with them about every weekend and stuff, and I'm always tickled to beat them.
I'll tell you, everybody in this sport that was anybody was here, and you won it tonight. Congratulations to you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Boy, it's a great show by all the drivers tonight as we give you the final top five. Coming in fifth place tonight was Art Arfons. Taking fourth was Mike Piper. Coming in third tonight in Louisville, that was Dave Walsh. Second went to Fred Freeman. Your champion was David Banner. For Army Armstrong, I'm Richard Leek. We'll see you again on the tracks across America.
Join us next time for Power Tracks, the most powerful sport on earth. Brought to you by TNT Motorsports, the nation's leader in pulling and monster truck racing.
Turning
a tire.
Well, he blew a tire. The crew had no problem. They got that back together okay. Dennis Anderson, we've been talking about it all year long. The black cloud's been floating over him. This might be the night he's going to turn it around. He really believes that he's going to be able to turn this thing around, Richard. And really, when you're this involved in the sport, you better believe in yourself.
So we've got monster truck racing, but also we're going to go to Louisville, Kentucky for the championship tractor pull. It'll be the 10,200-pound pro stock tractors in competition.
Well, the pro stockers, again, one of the crowd favorites in Louisville, Kentucky. This win means something. You got bragging rights for the whole year if you can win one in Louisville.
So a double shot of action tonight from TNT Motorsports. We're going to be back in just a moment to start the quarterfinal action of the Renegage TNT Monster Truck Challenge. It's coming your way next on Power Tracks and ESPN.
From the Flambeau family of products.
And welcome back to Power Tracks in Biloxi, Mississippi. There you see Wild Hare driven by Bob Breen out of Jefferson City, Missouri. He is going to be taking on Dennis Anderson and Gravedigger in our first quarterfinal matchup. As a matter of fact, first round action has been completed, and let's run down the pairings as the quarterfinals get ready to get started. It'll be Mad Dog, one of the Breen boys, taking on Bigfoot and Andy Brass. Then Stomper with Marvin Smith takes on Gary Porter and Carolina Crusher. We'll follow that up with the national champion Rod Litzow, USA 1 against Bennett Clark and Clydesdale. So it ought to be a heck of a race, and let's get it started, Army, with the bad Breen boy, Wild Hair, against Gravedigger and Dennis Anderson.
Bob Breen drew the baddest of the bad tonight. Dennis Anderson seems to be on a roll. Look at the air. Anderson just makes it look smooth.
Dennis Anderson and Gravedigger is back in a big way. You know, a black cloud has been hanging over his head. He continues to break down, but what an awesome display of power here in the replay.
Richard, you talk about a black cloud. He just flew through that crowd. You see the altitude he had on that run.
Dennis Anderson, 1,800 horsepower. The fans absolutely love the Gravedigger in Biloxi, Mississippi. And they also love the guy you're going to see next. We are talking about none other than the original monster truck Bigfoot with its driver, Andy Brass.
Richard, everywhere you go, everybody knows Bigfoot. And you're in the sport, everybody wants to beat Bigfoot. This truck has never done that. They're both out of the Show Me State of Missouri. John Bream's been in this sport a long time. He's beat almost everybody in the sport. However, the one truck that has always crossed the tape in front of him has always been blue and had Bigfoot written on the side.
All right, this will be John Breen, the Mad Dog Chevrolet Blazer, up against the Bigfoot Ford of Andy Brass, waiting for the green light. There it is.
Both of them leave real good. Bream a little bit out of shape, takes an attack. Bigfoot goes on. John Breen was going after him, Richard.
Army, I've noticed in both of our quarterfinal races thus far, these trucks are getting a lot of air between the bottom of them and the track.
Boy, it's amazing. The ramps they're going off of really have a lot of angle to them, Richard.
And here comes a guy that is really coming on strong. Talking about Gary Porter. Out of Wadesboro, North Carolina, it's the Carolina Crusher Chevrolet. Gary is probably one of the top 5 drivers in America as he takes on another top 5. That is Stomper, the Chevrolet Starvin Marvin Smith out of Arnold, Missouri.
All the Chevrolet people are going to love this one. Stomper going against the Carolina Crusher. Now remember, we're down here on a beautiful Gulf Coast. We're less than a half a block away from the actual coast itself. Gearing these engines and tuning these engines so very important. We're going to watch Porter to see if maybe he might be a little bit wrong on his...
Oh, great race.
He looks good. No, he's all right.
We have got a dead heat, Army. A
It
great
was
race.
close. I have no idea from my angle who won that shot.
Guys, we're going to have to see a replay of this one. It was a dead heat at the finish line. Let's see if we can stop the cameras right here to try to determine a winner. Coming across. There it is right there. Gary Porter, Carolina Crusher, wins it on a replay, a photo finish, a nice win for Porter.
I tell you, Richard, this guy is going to win one of these events sooner or later. Might be tonight.
And look who's coming out next. It is the favorite in Biloxi, Mississippi, the defending Renegade TNT National Champion, Rowdy Rod Litzow out of Spring Lake Park, Minnesota, USA 1 Chevrolet, facing Bennett Clark, Powder Springs, Georgia, the Clydesdale Bennett with his black cowboy hat on. That's because he's a former professional rodeo bull rider.
Right now, he's got the bull by the horns in the form of the USA 1, red, white, and blue. True Value Hardware Chevrolet. Rod Litzow, I believe one of the premier drivers in the sport. Working a left lane to perfection, comes over the jump, a lot of air, smooth as smooth can be, and just bounces right off the end with that 13,000-pound monster truck.
Awesome power for Rod Litzow, USA 1. He wins it, moves into the semifinals, and when we come back, it'll be side-by-side semifinal and final round action from Biloxi, Mississippi on Power Tracks and ESPN. Back to Power Tracks. We are inside the Gulf Coast Colliseum for more monster truck racing at semifinal time, Army, and what a whale of a matchup we've got coming. It is Bigfoot with Andy Brass, the original monster truck, taking on